On this video, I'm continuing to do the life of Christ, a harmony, and we have worked our way up to the section which has been called the Great Galilean Ministry. We are now looking at the healing of a nobleman's son in Capernaum, and we have seen several movements thus far. We have looked at the sources of the Gospels, the incarnation of Christ, the two genealogies of Matthew and Luke, the birth and childhood of John the Baptist and Jesus. We've seen the beginning of the Baptist ministry and the beginning of Christ's public ministry in all parts of Palestine. And now we come to the Great Galilean ministry. And it probably occurred from around AD 27 to AD 29. And we introduced this last time with his ministry in Galilee. And now we're going to see the expansion of that ministry. And so what I want to do is read the Greek text, followed then by an English translation as we ponder the work of Christ. This whole section, by the way, will be filled with a lot of miracles that Jesus accomplishes. And it's a beautiful section that I'd like for us to spend time pondering. It's called the Great Galilean Ministry. Like I said, probably lasting a year and a half from around AD 27 to 29, the spring of 29. So I'm beginning now to read the Greek, and we worked our way up to the healing of at Cana, I should say, of a nobleman's son. So verse 43 reads, Meta de tas duo hemeros, exeothen ekathen eistain Galilean. And it came to pass, after he departed from Galilee, that Jesus himself testified that a prophet was without honor in his own country. So when he came to Galilee, the Galileans welcomed him. We're seeing this in John 43, verse 43 of chapter 4 through 45. And I'm continuing now to pick up the development in verse 46. So, eothen un palen eistain kana tes Galileas hapu apoiesen tahudur oinon. And so he came to Cana of Galilee, where he had made water to wine. We continue as we go on to the next verse or the next phrase. When he heard, and at Capernaum, there was an official whose son was ill. And it reads that he now is going to meet Jesus and trust him for an amazing healing. And so it reads, verse 47, Hutos akusas hati Jesus heke ektes Judaias estain Galilean apeothen plasautan kai erota kena katabe kai heasetai autu tan huion. Amelan dar apas neskin. That is, this one, when he heard that Jesus had come from Judea to Galilee, he went and was asking him that he might come down and heal his son, for he was about to die. Verse 48. Apen un ha Jesus prasaltan, and an me semea kai terata idete u me pistusete. Jesus therefore said to him, except you see signs and wonders, you will not indeed believe. Verse 49. Lege prasaltan ha basilikas curia katabetheb pren apathanen ta paidianmu. He says to him, that is, the official says to him, Sir, come down before my child dies. Verse 50. Lege auto ha Jesus, poruu ha huiasu ze, epistus in ha anthropas tolago han apen auto ha Jesus, kai eparuatai. That is, Jesus says to him, go, your son lives. The man believed the word which Jesus said to him, and he was going then, went his way. Notice the man's faith, and Jesus knew that he was healed from a distance. And so verse 51, Eide de autu katabainantas hoi duloi autu hu paintesan auto legantes hate hapais autu ze. And already, as he was going down, his servants met him, saying that your son lives, or your son is living. What a wonderful news that he's receiving. Your son lives. And Jesus had just spoken the word. So in verse 52, Aputhete tain horan par auton in he campsateran esken epan auto hate exes horan abdamen afekin auton ha puratas. That is, he asked them about the hour. He asked them the hour when he began to get better, when he was having improvement. And they said to him, yesterday, about the 7th hour, the fever left him. Verse 53. Egno un ha pater hate in akene te hora in a pen auto ha Jesus ha huiasu ze kai epistus en autas kai he oikia autu hale. Verse 53 translated, and the Father knew that in that hour which he said to him, Jesus had said to him, He apen auto, your son lives, that he believed him and all his house. Notice the Father knew that Jesus was the Son of God. And John wants us to understand this. And he believed him. And we're told this was the second sign in John's Gospel that Jesus did. Tuta de palen buteran semean apoiesin ha Jesus eothon ectes Judaias eistain Galilean. This was now the second sign that Jesus did when he came out of Judea unto Galilee. So, a beautiful text that shows the omnipotence of Christ, his omniscience, and his healing power. He could just speak the word, and this son was healed. And it brought faith to the nobleman in Jesus as the Messiah. One of John's objectives is to show that Jesus is the Messiah and that by believing you might have life through his name. And we're seeing this in this great miracle, demonstrating his omniscience and his omnipotence to effect such a miracle from a distance as he did.